It's finding that thing that brings you and reminds you of who you are, your joy, your light, your love presence. You get to dance with that in mind and body. And how do you discover that? Again, like getting quiet and realizing, like, if no one else had told me that this was good, wrong, right, bad, what things would I be doing? It's really, we get to ask these questions and just stay curious without judgment.
Are you ready to transform your health journey? Welcome to the Holistish Podcast, where science meets holistic wellness to help you take control of your health. I'm Lianne, an osteopath with a background in psychology, athletic therapy, and occupational therapy, here to guide you through practical ways to feel your best without relying solely on doctor visits or prescriptions. Join me each week for deep dives, expert insights, and real-life wellness experiments as we explore the powerful connection between body and mind. Whether you're new to holistic health or just looking for fresh perspectives, you're in the right place. Let's start unlocking your healthiest, happiest self together. This is the Holistish Podcast. Before we dive in, a quick reminder. I'm an osteopath, not a medical doctor, and this podcast is for informational purposes only. The content shared here is based on my personal experience and education in health and holistic wellness. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have about your own particular situation and your health. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's get on with the show. All right, guys, I have a special treat for you today. You will have the pleasure of not only hearing me speak today, I actually have a guest on the show today for you guys. So my guest today is Mariel Wilk, and she actually is from the United States, and she has found a very unique way to blend her dancing background with subconscious reprogramming. So she has become very fascinated with how our subconscious mind works and how the subconscious can really be controlling a lot of our everyday thoughts, beliefs, and actions. So she's hoping through her movement called AbunDANCE, so abundance, but emphasis on the dance. She is hoping to help with subconscious reprogramming through dance and full embodiment. So we had a super interesting conversation. She really talks a lot about how we need to incorporate more play into our life and really start listening to our own inner whispers. And she really takes a lot of care in what words she uses, because the words we use for ourselves and the intentions we set for ourselves are really dictated by the words we use. And it also gives a very good indication of what our subconscious is telling us. So I won't give anything else away. I will let Mariel do the talking. So without further ado, here's my interview with Mariel Wilk. Mariel Wilk, welcome to the Holistish Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so we actually, because the audience might not know how we have met, and it's funny that we've actually maybe never met in person, but we know a lot of people in the same community that we met actually in a conference down in Arizona at BBD Live. And it's all about, creating your own online projects and spaces. And what a wonderful place that was. But as I left that conference, I got so inspired to get to know all these different people in the community so much better. And Mariel and I connected just through chat. And here we are today. And I wanted to really highlight what you do, because it seems like you have a very important mission and message out there for women out there. So Mariel, I'm going to let you take it away and tell me all about your AbunDANCE program and how you got to developing that. So please share with us.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's something that I say, like, it's bigger than me. What I be. We always are like, what do you do? It's like, I always like to ask, what do you be? What do you want to be in the world? And through my journey, I mean, again, like, our mess is our message, with what we go through. And I think it's actually, when you're in it, maybe hard to see, but knowing that it's all working for you, knowing that it's all happening for the best of you and the world and people around you, and you can have that lens, and just being able to see kind of my life with that lens, that all those different moments of struggle and doubt and, all those things led me to this process. I call it the AbunDANCE energy process and method. And it's basically, an unraveling of where I found my home, where I found my alignment. And when you tap into that, it's then an invitation and permission slip for other women to do the same. And I always say too, find what makes sense to you. For me, dance was a childhood experience that I felt in alignment, that I felt present, that I felt powerful, that I felt in my play. I would say that I love the 3 Ps, and that's what I bring to this work today. And it doesn't have to be dance for you, but it's finding what is your play. And at the same time that I was coming back to dance through, just to keep it short, right? Years and years of therapy and working through traumas and rehashing things and just going, okay, this feels kind of like a Band-Aid. I want to live my life. I don't want to always be in therapy. I don't want that to be my norm. That I just had said, show me something different. Show me something better. Show me a new way of thinking, being, and living and dancing through life. And I always invite people to get quiet and listen to those inner whispers. It's the word her and whisper for a reason, I believe. And, really just open up to the possibilities of things. I think we just settle for some things in this world of that's just how it is, or, and I just have always been curious and questioned the things around me. And, to have certainty that there are better ways out there and to let those come in and show itself. And God, have I seen so much of that as I continue to work that muscle of that as well. And from there, as I was getting back into dance, reminding me who I was, again, that was just a way of moving through that space. I was learning about subconscious reprogramming, and that kind of slipped into my world as well, and decided to intensely train in that. And one day it just hit me that why is no one bringing the two together? Why is no one bringing subconscious reprogramming and dance somatic embodiment together, where we can move the dance of the mind, which is where I start, and then move it in through the body as well. And that it gets to feel lighter, more playful, more fun, and with intention and purpose. And it just transformed me. And I've seen it transform so many women that are just here for something better, different. They're doing their own shit, and they're just I might as well try something new. Because then I know that my work can feel a little intimidating of what, dance? And what's this subconscious reprogramming stuff? And but really it's a deeper mind massage and a deeper body massage that gets to feel, again, like an alignment. Like you take a car into a shop to get repairs and stuff for it to drive smoother. That's my mission. My mission is to delete tabs in your browser that are no longer serving you and slowing down your system for your brilliance, and getting you into your, your real abundant energy. Again, also her is an energy, which is the program that I do have, and takes you through, again, the subconscious mind shift and the dance embodiment that is you. I mean, everyone, even right now, as you're listening, you're oh, I'm not a dancer, or I'm not XYZ, or I did as a kid, or I've never done it before. And, if you can move your body in any which way, even your fingertip, you are a dancer, right? Before coming into this world, your soul was dancing around, before having a body and being on earth. There's already a subconscious thought around even this word dance, dancer, dancing. Whereas really, if you didn't care and you were 5 years old and a friend said, come dance with me, you'd be like, okay. And you just start dancing. It wouldn't mean anything. It wouldn't mean so much. And we make things mean so much. And what if we would just put that on a table for a moment and just step into a new experience and then decide from there, right? What makes sense and what's useful? Because I always go with the approach of, was it useful, serving you, and helpful? Even when you're going through anything, I don't know, you get a massage, you go to a therapist, you get your nails done, you eat something, are we stopping afterward and going did that feel good to have done? Did that feel good? Was that useful? Was that serving me? Versus it's just what I do. Which we,
so
we walk around our life like that. So
it's so true, because I can speak as someone who, I used to think, going to get a mani-pedi with the girls was a way to just do self-care. And for me personally, it's really evolved into, is that actually aligned? And yeah, maybe it is aligned to go pamper yourself every now and then. But what's really interesting is how you bring it all down to alignment, and how if you're just doing something and going through the motions, but it's not actually resonating on a deeper level, it really doesn't make you shine through. So I love what you're talking about with that.
Yeah. And again, knowing yourself enough, right? Knowing who you are before the world told you who to be. So you can at any point go, is getting my nails done in alignment? Because for a lot of people it is. They're it brings me joy. And really, I don't think it's about the manicure pedicure. I think it's about, it reminds you who you are. You know, as if you're feeling good doing that, it's reminding you that you are this being of feeling good. Like that's what you're here to experience. And so for some people, it's getting their nails done. For some people, it's painting. For some people, it's dancing. For some people, it's finding that thing that brings you and reminds you of who you are, your joy, your light, your love presence. And so, yeah, you get to dance with that in mind and body. And how do you discover that? You know, again, like getting quiet and realizing like, if no one else had told me that this was good, wrong, right, bad, what things would I be doing? Yeah. Am I drinking or getting a manicure pedicure because, well, that's just what my friends do? Or is it because, well, I actually really enjoy it too? It's really, we get to ask these questions and just stay curious without judgment. That really opens up the layers.
It sounds really like we really have to get into what's aligned with ourselves to really get into our flow state, whatever that might be. And it sounds like what you do is really invite people to do that through their bodies, which, funny enough, I don't know if a lot of people, or at least growing up with people I know, not a lot of people would think about connecting through flow through body. They might do it through being productive with their work or doing a painting or something that actually produces something external from them. But it sounds like you're talking about flow that really comes from internally. Quick pause for a second. I just wanted to take a moment to say if this material is resonating with you, I would love for you to come and join my free community over on School. That's SKOOL.com. The group I have is called Ask the Osteopath, and we talk about all different types of topics around your health and well-being. Yes, there's foundations in osteopathy, but we keep it to a broader range all around holistic health and wellness in order to optimize your everyday well-being. So if this sounds like a place you'd like to be, I invite you to go to school.com/osteo. And now, back to the episode.
Yeah, I say it's for you, from you. I've had people, and of course it's, you know, when I'm posting things about me dancing and stuff, people are going to have judgments, and you know, I'm in a place I don't care at all. Judge away. It's actually a reflection of what you're thinking in your mind versus mine. And because I'm so clear about why, for example, we can just take dance itself, why I do dance, because I'm so clear on my why. Think about when you're so clear on why you do something, for you, from you, everything else falls away of what other people want to perceive it as. And so, for example, I've had comments about you're just dancing for men, or you're too much, or you're too whatever it may be. And again, that opens up the door for them to maybe explore why is that showing up for you. And again, when you know your why, all the chatter of that doesn't mean anything to me, because I know my why and my why. And I even made this reel at one point where I was like, who I'm really dancing for. And it went back to a clip of my 5-year-old me. You know, that's who I dance for. Like, because she's just joy, love, and light. And I get to remind myself of her. I mean, how often do we as women specifically remember when we were 5 years old? Like, go back and just celebrate her. Go back and remember her. Because she wasn't judging herself. She wasn't judging other people. She was just herself. And when we can pause and tap into her at any point, you know, there's a lot of power in that. And so I always say that my AbunDANCE process is like a play date, you know, because again, we also, when we're like, oh, like give. It's like, you know, when are we receiving? And also, gosh, the amount of times that I've heard women say, I don't have time for play. Which is a whole thing we can unravel right there, even just in the language and narrative of that sentence. But
oh my goodness, yes.
You knew it was home to your freedom. Would you really keep saying that narrative to yourself? I don't have time for play. Well, then what are you making the time for? Let's look at that and seeing the misalignment in that. And so I always just say, you know, working with me or not in some capacity, make time for play, pause and play, and get into your pleasure and your presence. And again, remind you who the heck you were before the world told you who to be, and all the conditions and programmings. And yes, I get into the body, but what I will say is that with years of experience of being in and out of dance classes, you know, I started realizing that, again, some people would come, I think most, for that hour of the week to be like, let me leave my stressful life and just, you know, have fun or, you know, get out of my comfort. I mean, for whatever reason, beautiful reasons. And then go back to my stressful life, you know, and kind of it's just like that pause, but nothing's really changing on the exterior of their life outside of there. And that was also when it hit me of like, I want to give more for women. I want to be around women that are accepting where they are and eager for more. Because yes, you can go to a dance class and that's incredible. And there's nothing wrong. I think it's amazing. And I'm like, what if it could be even better, where you're shifting your reality state in your mind and your body, and that you're leaving the spaces working with me, not only feeling abundant during, but afterward, actually seeing your life change before into your eyes. You know, it's like, what kind of dance class do you want to go to? Do you want to go to the one that feel for an hour, or like you're actually seeing hours later, months, years, these transformation shifts happening in you in eternal? And that's why I start in the mind, because if you have self-doubt or you have whatever, and you go to a dance class, over time, maybe it would shift, but I love efficient, effective, and quick things if it makes sense to do. And I'd rather you be more clear in your mind, so that when you go to a dance class, you can just be in your play and just have fun, versus all the mind chatter that you're entertaining. But I'd feel it all from other women in the room. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much here. And I was just like, I'm just here to play. Like, I want you to join me on that. But I was like, oh, there's the stucknesses in the mind that are getting in the way of that. And
Right. I can imagine you must have a lot of people who come in who are new, who are so used to maybe being in high performance mode, or being really in I got to get good at this and I got to get the steps down. And they're trying to think of it all as a mechanical process, which keeps them in their mind, like you're saying. So how do you help them break through from being in that? Because I feel like me coming in, not knowing, like, I'm not the best dancer, and I would probably just do the 50-cent uppercuts, like, we learned in the club. That's basically how I dance. So how would you help someone like me, say, who's so much in the, oh my God, how do I get to this free flow, don't care inner child freedomness? How long do you find that takes to break through to someone? Or what are the first few steps you get to guide them along to start getting into that freedom of play and less of judgment?
So it's such a good question. I don't know if I've been questioned that in that way. So that was beautifully asked, and I intend that this is really useful. And I before even going into this, I'm gonna be throwing out some really beautiful ways to approach this, and I invite your listeners to take one and try it on. And then if like that didn't work, then it's like a jacket in the store. I'm not pointing a gun to your head saying, buy it right now and leave with it. It's going, put it on, walk around, do you feel good in it, right? So I'm gonna give because I'm all about if the listeners, you're already taking the time to listen, I want to be of value to you. And so, again, beautiful question. Thank you. Everyone is different, right? I think that's what the beauty of this work is, that it's transformational, but it's also specific to you, because the time, it could happen in seconds that you could shift, and it could happen in days, and that's not even the focus. It's just knowing that you are unraveling these layers that are things that were never you, to get to that place. And so some things that we can do is that women, and not even women, we think about, again, programming, conditioning. Let's start the mind first. You were grown up in school systems, most likely. And there you were taught, this is what you do. 2 + 2 = 4, right? Follow along, do it with me. So we learned that structure, and being told what to do was quote unquote safe or acceptable or right? They weren't like, play around with these numbers and see what you come up with, and how you add, subtract, multiply, go. It was like, this is how you do it. Now follow it. Good job. Here's your green star. So that's what I see all of the women. And again, we could call that, they're more in their masculine, because they really want to feel like the control. They want to know that they're getting that gold star.
Oh boy, yes.
And yeah, oh yes. I know, I get it. And so it's really interesting. So for me to say to a woman, okay, let's go freestyle dance right now, right? Most women are going to be like, say what? Like, over my dead body, right? Like,
for sure. Like me a year ago, you would have said that to me, and I'd be like, I would have politely said it, but it would have been F off written all over my face, for sure. Like, no, I'm not doing that. No.
You have no idea.
Now I'm more open.
Yeah. You have no idea when I'm working with women, and I'm like, we're going to freestyle now. And it's their face. Yeah. Some of it is like rage, or some of it's like, who do you think you are? It's just showing you that your mind is so beautiful, protecting you, because it sees it as a huge threat. And we work through the layers of that, because in order to survive it, that's really all it needs to do, is the mind needs to see that you survive doing a thing. And so and there's fun things to do around that. But instead of me if I had a class of saying, you're just gonna come and you're gonna freestyle, or if I had a session with a woman, I said, you're just gonna come and you're gonna freestyle. Yeah, most women are like, why would I go through that torture? not all, but most. And so we start where you're at, where what I do is like, we can give movements and do things where you have a little of that 2 + 2 + 4 going on. And then you'll be surprised that as you get more comfortable with that and the repetition of going, oh, this is safe, and even just the instruction of 2 + 2 = 4, there's more opening to occur of like flow state, like you said, of, oh, maybe I'll try this thing on. Or maybe you start getting more into your imagination. You start, as I say, I Magic Nation, like you are magic in human form. And as a kid, you were all about in your imagination. And then we like lost sight of that. And so, when you're just in that state of going, there's no threat, as I'm moving my hips, maybe I start moving my hair and head and neck with it too. And you actually start creating a freestyle that you don't even realize. But again, it was given some structure at first. And that's kind of what good teaching would be, right? I mean, I come from the teaching background. I taught for 11 years. And it really, that's the goal, is like teach them fundamentals, but then let them fly. And if you never let them fly, then they're always going to be scared to do the freestyle, right? I mean, birds are freestyling in the air. They're just flying. They're just doing what they're doing, right? They're in alignment. And so it's that opportunity. So all that was words, but even just for a moment, let's have everyone, as long as they're not driving, right? Close your eyes for a moment and just picture yourself in some capacity dancing. And again, it can be like literally bobbing your head into the car, in the car, or brushing your teeth. As you're brushing your teeth, you're moving. It could maybe be in a club. It could be in a dance class. I mean, it could be even just like you're talking to a friend on a walk and you both pause and dance. I mean, whatever feels useful for you. Maybe it's even your 5-year-old you that you're remembering, and that they probably were dancing, if you remember it or not. And just tapping and just noticing that for a moment. Because right now what we're doing is we're seeing in the mind, we're creating this thing that the mind has no idea that it's not actually happening right now. And so even right now, you're dancing because the mind doesn't know that you're not actually experiencing it in your body right now. And just increasing that energy and noticing like, oh, and how is that feeling? And just keep checking in, because you're in control. You're the player of this video game right now of you dancing and seeing you dancing in the movie reel of your mind. And just notice her, witness her, and notice her face. Notice the energy through her mind, body, soul. And then go ahead whenever you're ready, taking your sweet time, coming back to your space. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I felt, maybe not necessarily dancing, but just by running through that, I felt like I was my 5-year-old self skipping around everywhere. Just like hop, 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 hop. And just free flowing of, where am I going next? Oh, I'm over here. This looks interesting. Let's go check that out. Like it was completely in improvisation, freedom of flow, and where does my interest get sparked? That's what came up for me.
And I love this too. And I want to hear too from the listeners, like what showed up for you, because it's whatever showed up for you in your mind was perfect. And even for you, like you're like, I was skipping. Well, since when was skipping not equaling dance? Like why is skipping not dance? Why is dance not skipping? And even for you, I'm going, whoa, is that an invitation from you for you? Go skip later. Just even, I mean, from one room to the next, go and skip and be like, that's my dance. And again, you're showing the mind to open up to this idea of free style of dance, of moving, of flow state that you didn't experience before. It's something new and different, entertain. And from there, again, you can, there's so many things that we can start attaching to, even again, the subconscious thoughts we can connect to as you're skipping and moving into that. But right now, your mind now does not see that as a threat because it showed it in the mind, which showed it in the body to be okay. And that's already, again, it's like, I'm not even telling you yours, go to a dance class, push to the fire, like it can be simple and easy and effective as you being in your room with no one around and doing that in your mind for 1 minute. And the benefits are incredible.
I can completely agree to that because I'm someone who even wouldn't dance ever, and still not the biggest dancer, but a better than 50 Cent uppercut. So I'll tell you that. But I think it's actually but my daughter actually skips a lot, and she's getting into dance herself now. So I'm kind of living vicariously through her, and I see how she is so free flowing and without a care. She's 5 and she is in the moment all the time. And it's funny that I bring up the skipping because I saw her skipping around today. We were at a birthday party earlier today, and all I wanted to do was skip with her, and I didn't, and I should have. And now it's like, that it's funny how this pops up now as you were bringing me through that visualization exercise, because it just makes me want to go, oh, I really need to tap into that more and be my 5-year-old self with my 5-year-old.
Yeah, and I want to also, because again, I'm really, people will say like, a wordsmith. I can catch on to subconscious stuff very quickly with people, and I want to share, because again, and I know it will be useful for somebody, at least one person listening. When you notice the shoulds and the needs that you tell yourself, right? That is a way of showing importance that is almost like stress to the mind and body. And so if we look back at, let's even just like change that narrative of that. I saw my daughter, and you did exactly what you were supposed to do in that moment, but by observing and noticing and witnessing it. We can so quickly go of like, oh, and then I should have done it. But actually, it brought you to then sharing it right now. It brought you to going, oh, I desire that thing, and I'm going to now go do it. And I think actually it even fueled your fire more to do it than if you would have maybe done it then and then not even brought it up or thought about it. And it was absolutely correct that you only observed it then, because then you can now see of how it felt to just not do it. And you're like, wait, I don't actually want that moment in the future. I want to join her next. And also the need is also very much like, if I need, like, survival, right? We need food and water to survive, right? And so if we're saying, well, I need to get that task done, I need to get that done, that's placing really extreme importance in your mind, aka stress, threat. So, if someone's like, okay, then what do I replace these things with, right? We could say, could, right? I could go skip. Not that I should. I could go dance. Not that I should go dance. And then need, again, I can. It would be useful to. It would serve me to, right? I need to go do the dishes. I mean, I could do the dishes, and it'll feel good to have done the dishes, right? It'll be useful. It'll serve me. I'll serve people around me, right? So when we change those narratives, your whole demeanor can also change. And it's really, really powerful. So again, for example, if a girl's going to a dance class, I need to get every move right. That's a lot of stress to the mind and body. And that's when you're going to see those women that are in their head, probably forgetting the choreo because they're so focused on the importance of it, versus someone just going, I'm going to play, and then they pick up on it. Because what I will tell you, I've done AbunDANCE session. I say AbunDANCE like classes. There's a class form that I also teach. A group of girls, like 10-year-olds, they pick up on choreo so fast. They're like in their imagination and play. When I ask them, like, and we do visualizations, and they're so quick to tell me exactly and in detail what they're thinking. I mean, it's a whole other game where then I go to women and they're like, I can't picture, I'm having trouble picturing, or they're playing small in their own mind, and it's taking them longer to learn the choreo. And again, what's the difference? And you nailed it. The difference is that kids are in their presence. There's no threat. There's no mind chatter going on. And so it's a free flowing state to just pick and absorb. If you already have a dirty sponge full of water and you're trying to put more water into it, it's not going to take it on as much, versus like a clean, fresh new sponge, put water. Oh, it's sucking all that in. Yeah. And that's who I want women to return to, is that sponge before the world told them who to be, because then whatever you want to take in, whatever you want to learn, whatever you want to expand upon is so much more readily available. Just like the tabs in your computer, right? Deleted. There's more open space, and it works faster.
So then you're saying with what you're doing with them in your sessions is you're actually helping them release some of that garbage that they're holding on to in order to get back to their true selves or their inner child.
Yes. I wouldn't even say they're holding on to, it's placed upon them. It wasn't even, we have this, I came also from the meditation space, and this whole thing of like letting go. And I think a lot of times that, again, I'm very big on words and what we say to ourselves. And so
it's very good.
It can feel useful. I mean, it really can. And let go has this kind of experience of, I chose to put this on myself. And I actually don't agree with that, and I think that it actually doesn't bring you into your power, versus I like to say we're releasing these things. Because again, like if a little kid had a backpack on them because their parent put it on them, right? The parent, the kid didn't be like, I'm putting this backpack on me. We wouldn't say, let go of the backpack, kid, right? It's like, oh yeah, why was it on me? That's my fault. That's whatever. Like, I put this on me. I don't focus on that. I go, let's release the bag. Let's release the bag. And I had one woman specifically, she was going through things with mom, which I think for women, There's a lot of entanglement with mom and thoughts about mom. And I really do believe we choose our moms to learn these things, to move through these things. And they're our biggest teacher. They're our biggest blessing because they open up these doors of things that we can continue to evolve through.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this one woman, even just example of, she was really, you could tell, again, I can feel the mind and body and the tension on that. And she actually had a purse or a backpack on her. And I said, I want you to really slowly just take a deep breath in, exhale, think there were release. And we were already doing some work together, talking through some stuff. I said, I want you to slowly take the backpack you have on you right now. Again, it was all very synchronistic. She had a backpack on her, literally. And I said, I want you to slowly place it down. I want you to look at it on the ground. And it realized it was never you. And it's not you. Your thoughts aren't you, right? Your past isn't even you. And it was a complete powerful release for her. And it can happen, you're saying, how long does it take? It can take instances with that. It's the idea of you go to the dentist and the dentist said, here's the tools to clean your mouth. It's going to take you one, hell of a lot longer, and two, probably not as useful to do it yourself versus the dentist has been trained in that. And they can just go in and get it clean in moments, right?
Right.
It's just like clockwork with that. And so the work that I get to do, again, that's so much bigger than me, is bring you home to you. And because from there, it's just the sky. There actually is no limit. You're limitless. And it's just, it's a really beautiful thing that I get to continue to witness for women unlocking that. And so I think that that's the biggest difference, is that I really work with the mind first and foremost, because that's going to ultimately unlock your freedom. And then the body is just like the fun extra layer to really move that energy even more through. It's like a win-win, double dip.
Yeah. And it sounds like, honestly, deep down, that's all what we really want. We all want to come back home to ourselves. But a lot of people have deviated very far away and they're not even aware of it. So it becomes a whole big mission that you've taken on of trying to help those who are ready to start making that journey back to themselves.
And that is the hardest part of I only attract really brave, courageous women because, even the work I do is very different and very, a little bit what is, and so to take that leap of faith into a different kind of work and being. And, but I think those are where the best rewards are, is when you try something different, and think about that first time that someone goes to yoga and they realize they love yoga and they want to go train in yoga. It's it was that first moment of bravery. I'm I don't even know what yoga is, or I'm not flexible enough, or I'm not. And then they go anyway. It's really those opportunities that we just lean into the unknown, and just take that leap of faith of this, for whatever reason. Again, that whisper is try on that thing and you just follow it. That's the power, is when you actually follow it versus letting yourself doubt, worry, fear, which again is all thoughts. It's not you. That you, even the word selfish and selfless is a very interesting thing a lot of women also dance with, because you feel bad if you're taking time for yourself. Whereas what if you knew that taking the time for yourself was ultimately going to be changing and shifting the people around you in the world? Would you then shift the relationship to it? Because again, if I did not put myself first and learn in aligning to me, I would not be able to help women transform their own lives the way that I have now. And that took a lot of also people pleasing, cutting away from, right? And a lot of no's, a lot of, again, getting really quiet with myself of what's in alignment for me, knowing, again, with certainty that it was going to serve in a bigger way than I even knew possible to keep coming home to me. And that's a very big, brave thing to do for a woman, is to pause things and go, I'm taking a day for myself to be quiet. I'm taking a day for myself to take care of what is useful for me to take care of, for me, from me. Very powerful move.
Yeah, honestly, it can even seem, even though it's not actually this, it can actually seem like in this day and age, the biggest rebellion as a woman, to actually take that space to take care of yourself first. And when you do take care of yourself first, it actually empowers you and gives you more energy to help take care of others after. But unfortunately, in this day and age, I experienced that in my own just journey, how you start sacrificing to help your family, to help your kids, to help everyone around you. And in the end, you can almost have nothing left for yourself. So to actually make that turnaround and to go and do these things for yourself, whatever you might be called to, and getting to that, back to that inner child, getting back to that, free form of play that you used to have as a child, it's to remember that you're still entitled to have that feeling. You don't have to wait, and you don't have to wait till, when the kids are older, when my job settles down a little bit more, oh, when my partner finally gives me a bit of time to do that because they're busy doing, no, like,
all you have is right now. I mean, we don't know what happens tomorrow. And so again, that's where it's like, especially women too, with things when they know that something will be useful. They're like, well, I'll think on it. Or yeah, I'll wait till that. It's like, again, you're letting the logical mind take over in moments. Knowing if today was your last day, what would you do? You know, would you go to that dance class? Would you invest in yourself, you know, in a coach to up-level your life? Or, you know, that thing that, again, that you know you've been putting off, you know, treating yourself to flowers just for the hell of it. Or, I mean, again, all these things are not about the actual physical. It's to remind you again of your alignment, that you're worth whatever. I mean, this whole unworthy thing is bogus and was also conditioned and programmed into us. I mean, a kid, again, if they're 2 years old, you don't need to teach them about being worthy. They're like, what do you if you ask an animal, are you worthy? They'd be like, what are you smoking? What do you mean? Like, I'm a zebra, you know, I zebra. Like, it's these things are so again, programmed and conditioned into us. And I love to be able to deactivate that, because once it's deactivated, it's like just the chains come off and you're untamed and you're just you and fierce and fire and power. And, you know, and again, it's how we look. It's the lens we wear. It's what glasses are you going to put on? Because, for example, the Giving Tree, that book, right? It's like, I remember reading it at one point and going, actually, what is the message of this book? Because it's the lens you're wearing. One person could say, oh my God, this tree is so incredible and giving and giving and giving. And what a beautiful thing. Like, even as a mom, right? Of like, wow, like you just gave all these things to this child. Like, that's such an honor. That's it's such a medal of doing that. But you could also look at the tree of like, and look what it was left with. You know, it was just, it gave so much that like, nothing was left of it for it. And again, was that story a happy story or a very sad story? And there's no wrong or right, I don't think, with the story, but maybe it's both and. And we get to decide along the way, when we're driving a car on a road trip, you know, do we just not ever stop for gas? Like, no, we need to stop for gas, and that's not judged. Like, hey guys, starting to stop for gas. We're like, no, thank you. So that we don't like, we're not in the middle of the street, just done. And that's what women, you know, burnout, we want to call those things happening, because it's like, let me just push through with no gas in my car. And that's like, again, a badge of honor. Whereas actually it's not, again, your alignment of your car, that's not going to help that either, you know? No. And so it's this idea that we just get, again, in these stories of what we've been told is what a good mom is, what a good person is like, well, overgive. Since when?
Exactly.
When is that what actually we're here to do? Because if you look at how you're feeling afterward, maybe it's also an indicator. Maybe that's not as useful, you know?
Absolutely.
And one more thing I will share is that, think about even one example. I feel like someone needs to hear this today. Timeout. I'm not sure your relationship to timeout as a kid. Did you ever have timeout?
Oh boy, did I ever.
Yes. Okay.
Anytime I stood up for myself, it was a timeout for someone. Like, anytime someone stood up to whatever, it wasn't necessarily about who was right or wrong, and the injustice I felt. Oh my goodness, the timeout. It's a tough one. And even, again, you're already feeding into the exact route that it was going of, anytime I stood up for myself meant bad. So no wonder that's a program of like, anytime that I want to show up for myself, program mind, again, mind's brilliant, just showing up with what you're giving it, right? The data you're giving it, bad. Even too, women that have a hard time being still came from that life, right? And, you know, the idea of go time out and be still, well, that means, okay, being still means bad, right? Yeah. Or even think about time out. That's actually, I mean, probably women would be like, give me a timeout right now, please. Like, you know, to go sit in a corner and have a few minutes to myself. Yeah, you're like, I can tell you're breathing. You're like, for the love of God, give me a timeout. Oh my God, I'd love it.
And before it was like this miserable thing. But honestly, as a kid, I don't even know that you found that miserable. But I think you found that because your parent, whoever did it for you, labeled it and it gave the energy of that being a punishment, made your reality believe it was a punishment too. Whereas like, you could see a kid going in the corner and they're using their imagination to think of things, and it's like a fun time for them.
Yeah, honestly, that's the thing. It really got labeled and presented in a different way, but I think that was just of the time. It was quite common. So it seems to me like it's actually something that could have been encouraged more, just to be more in touch with our intuition and how we're feeling. But it's true that it only came up in times that were associated with a negative event. So then it makes you realize that the only time you are invited to do that is when you've done something wrong.
Exactly. And again, imagine a kid that was raised going, hey, there's a time every day for 15 minutes that we're just all going to go in our room and we're just going to lay and we're going to, and whatever you notice in your imagination comes up, you can play around with it. You can, and notice how that relationship to that time would be different throughout their life.
Absolutely. Be a game changer, because then they'd actually be able to tune into their emotions a bit better and recognizing maybe when they need more rest or not, instead of running on adrenaline because they're just so primed up. Like, they'll actually be able to scale back and go, oh, this is different and I need to go reset.
And wasting a lot of time doing things because of pleasing other people, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people, right? I did this career, I did this job, I became a mom, because other people around me wanted me to be that.
How many women do you encounter where they come to see you and they start this whole free-flowing process and connecting back to themselves, realigning with themselves? And I'm curious, does it ever happen with you that you get this domino effect after, where they either go, I'm living the wrong life for me, I'm living the wrong job, knock on wood, you don't want this to be, but like, I married the wrong person? Like, is there sometimes where basically not a negative way towards you, but it's almost like, because of you, my life is now different, and it's not your fault, you're just bringing them back to themselves, but you get what I'm going with, right?
And again, go back to the narrative. It's none of it was wrong. It was actually perfect alignment for you at the time. That was, that thing served a purpose. I mean, we could even say, like, look at our friendships of the years, right? Those friends were mirrors of us, of where we were in our evolution of us. I don't think we talk about that enough either, as women, especially as we evolve. And I'm totally going to get to this, is all going to come back around. When we kind of change our own realities and what we put up with, a lot of our relationships change. Some of them stay along for the ride and either just appreciate it, but maybe don't kind of come with it. Some really judge it and feel really threatened and triggered by it, that fall off. And then also you bring in new relationships that are aligned to this version of you now. I mean, it's so powerful, and gets to feel uncomfortable too. And I think we don't talk about that enough either. And with that, so there's no wrong. It's just going, what's the next step? Like, it's actually, I don't get women upset. I get them that they're excited for, like, it may get a little uncomfortable with the unknown of it, right? But they're excited about, like, oh, wait, like, they feel inspired to do, it's like inspired action. And, because it's really interesting, but even to the people around you can shift because you're shifting. And so even if you're like, okay, my marriage isn't great, even with the work that we can do, you might even notice that improving. You might even notice them shifting. I mean, I've seen in my own reality where, like, certain relationships a little bit rocky, and I didn't do anything but work on my alignment. And I kid you not, like, overnight there were shifts from them. And I was like, what is that? This stuff is more powerful than I'm going to put into words. And so if nothing was wrong, but you're just tapping more into you. And so yes, there's going to be things that pop up of, like, I attract a lot of female entrepreneurs or women that want to, create their own. It's like, yeah, because they want to tap more into their imagination of who they really are. And it's a very exciting time, that they're in it and just want to continue to grow it, right, in different levels, or are just starting that journey of it. And that's exciting. It gets to be playful,
Totally can. And it's exciting. It can turn into maybe some fear at first, of this fear of the unknown and your brain wanting to keep you safe in your comfort zone of where you are. But once you actually take that little leap of faith, it can actually then bring you into better things that you ever thought possible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I invite to, if everyone's, again, if you're not driving, closing your eyes from it, I'm going to say a phrase and it may activate you, or even just kind of notice where it shows up in the body or in the mind, or whatever occurs is perfect. Again, it's just moving energy through. All this is just energy, this conversation, these words, how you're feeling now, where you are. And so if we just ask this question at a soul level, so beyond the mind, beyond the body, if I couldn't mess it up, what would I be doing? If I couldn't mess it up, what would I be doing? And really just breathe through that for a moment. Actually have this little time in, not time out, time in, let's just do like 30 seconds of that. Let's just see where your imagination goes. Let it be a dance. And then as we come back, just first noticing the breath and appreciation and gratitude for it breathing for you all the time without you having to even tell it to. How often do we notice that and witness that and appreciate that? What we appreciate appreciates. Thank you, breath. And even if you're listening to this right now, what a celebration that you're making the time for you and your own investment of self to grow and to evolve. Again, a lot of people would say, I don't have the time. They don't make the time. So right now, it's just this big celebration. And then also whatever came to mind in these 30 seconds, like maybe make some more space for that later. Every day. The time in. Let's change the narrative of this time out and let's come time in. We actually look forward to it because we get to see who we really are in that quiet whisper of us. The alignment, coming back home. Because that 5-year-old there, it's never left. She's like been waiting for you for that time inward. And one deep breath in. Exhale, think that we're released. Moving all energy through that. There's no possible way that you can be the same version of you after that activation. And then how exciting that is. Like, where is this going to lead to? What did that open up? What chapter is next for me when I take this leap of faith into something that I know is going to be good to do? Even if there's fear, I'll do it anyway. And if that even just means entertaining in the mind first of me doing that thing, start there. Taking your sweet time when you're ready, coming back. Beautiful.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, even you just centered me a whole lot more. I thought I did a good little work myself before getting on this call with you, but I just got another level of just deeper message of where I'm going forward from here. So thank you for that. That's wonderful.
It's my honor. It's my honor. Yeah. And intend to see it and play with it more and more and more. And, you know, I and let's even right now, the final thing I want to add to that. So close your eyes, go back to even one of the things that popped up in that time. One of the little moments that of a thing that you're doing, right? If you couldn't mess it up. And now I want you to see doing that thing and you're also dancing because you either just finished it or you're heading into it or you've completed it. I mean, whatever. And just see you dancing in like a celebration of like, yeah, I'm in alignment and I'm doing this thing. And just notice, witness them. Such love. Again, like a 5-year-old, like your 5-year-old's watching you just applauding. Maybe you can see that your 5-year-olds are like, yay, more. That's it. There's going to be a color that comes to mind that represents this energy moving through of I get to be playful with this desire that I have that's destined for me. And it's so spacious and open and free. There's no threat. So to continue to lean into that where I'm being pulled. And notice what color represents that energy moving through every cell of your body, mind, body, soul, spirit. See that color. Take a deep breath in. Breathe it into every cell. Exhale. Like it's sweeping out all the extra debris that no longer is useful. The self-doubt, worry, fear. Even if it's just a little bit more, right? Even just picking up a dust bunny in the corner of a room is still useful. And we're moving in the right direction of cleaning the whole space. Thank you. Yes, more please. And then coming back. So good.
It's very expansive. I felt it just expansion all over. It's wild.
It gets to be fun. And again, like I can say it, but what I do is fun, but I always love being able to give an experience to people because if you're showing up for you, I value that, your time and your energy. And it's all energy. Just energy was moving through now that there's now more open energy, more open tabs for you to be able to explore that are fresh.
Exactly.
It's like before you type in the search bar, it's like a fresh screen and you're like, oh, what am I going to type in and learn about next? That's more fun than like all these tabs that have opened that have been living in your mind for your whole life that are just still
oh my God.
You don't even see and notice and witness. So we get to delete and we get to add, and it gets to again be this dance in the mind and body, and really it just is getting you home to soul. That's really what all this work does. And come back to this activation often, and now listening, you have that color that showed up for you. You have that visual. I mean, at any moment, take 10 seconds. Close your eyes, see you in that thing, see you dancing, see that color, take a deep breath in, exhale, release, see it going through every cell of your body. I mean, that is more of an activation than so many other things. Like you might not even need your coffee anymore.
I was just thinking maybe I should do that before crawling out of bed in the mornings.
Absolutely. Oh, mornings and nights are the best time because, again, also it's the best time for your mind to take in because you're not in your thinking mind yet. As you're tired, you're like, I'm tired going to bed. You're like, you don't care as much. And as you're waking up, you're not into like your reality yet. And so it's really potent time to do that as well. So yeah, perfect.
Amazing. Like, I'm just fired up now. I feel like I got to go and do some dancing. I'm just...
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, so then, you have beginners who come in and they may have a bit of resistance to doing all this stuff. And I know everyone's different. I kind of asked you how long it takes. And it's not really about how long does it take to get me from point A to point B. But in your experience, how long do you find like people start to come around and really start to embody this whole new way of being with you? How do you find, how does that evolution look to you? Do you find there's stages or does it really on switch and then they're full in?
I think because I really go back to, again, the name of my program is Energy, right? I go back to everything is energy. And I think that like, for example, I've met people that have had hip surgery and, doctors will say, oh, it takes months to heal. Da, 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 da. I've seen people recover. My next door neighbor, he literally is like back on the bike. And I really believe his mindset is so powerful and
Yes.
he's in a good mood and he's just like, it's all good. It's all. And and he even says, like, I kind of feel bad because my aunt, also had hip surgery recently and she's kind of struggling. And I'm going, and again, I ask questions. I get curious. I go, what's the difference? Because they're both hips. They're both, and so to answer your question, I really don't think it's time. It's really all I can say is if a woman's going, I'm so ready for this magic right now, think about their energy is more open to it. Like you tapping into the activation right now because you were more open to it. You receive a lot from that, I could tell. But if a woman's coming and going like, okay, I'll try. I don't know. I think about, they might have gotten a shift, but it may not have been as deep. That's why I'm saying, if that was you, like come back to maybe, again, a few times. And so, yes, some women it's going to take more repetition. Some women it's going to happen in an instant. I just think we don't realize the miracle moments that can happen. I mean, when I do transformation with women, I see them in instances, I see shifts. When you do the subconscious work, you see literally their facial expression change within a moment. You see their body opening up more, through dance too, and both together. So, I know there's not like I'm not giving the most clear answer, but really if it's energy and you're like, I'm here for the energy, it can happen in a moment.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a clear answer. It's definitely, it's more all about how does someone feel like they're progressing, but it's such a subjective thing. And like if I can help be someone who was probably on the complete other end of the spectrum, like when I started out my own kind of wellness journey, like you would talk to me about this stuff and I would have been the one with anger and apprehension and fear. And the amount of time it took me personally, and I don't encourage this for anyone to take as long as I did, but it took a lot of body work. It took a lot of meditation. It took yoga. It took Pilates. It took stripping away HIIT classes that I thought was getting me into a good flow, which was actually destroying my body. And then what's funny enough is the one thing that probably I resisted more than anything in the world was probably just doing something free flowing and expressive like you're describing. But funny enough, more and more I open myself up to it, the more I realize that's what I've wanted all along. And that's what brings me back home.
And I can't tell you how much I know listeners and myself totally relate to that story because here's the thing is that we've given so much power to fingers pointing to the moon when we're the moon. And I always say like the information today is inflammation. Like we're just inundative. And that was my journey where I was going to other people and diets and fitness routines. And right, I always care about my well-being. And then I went to other people to tell me how is that best to do that. And then I got lost in the whole mess of it. Like, well, you just explained that actually does my body like this? Does my soul connect with this versus like, well, it's just the thing they told me to do, right? They told me to eat that thing. They told me to move that way. They. And I do think that that's part of our journey to have experienced that because now we're so much more clear on like the gratitude of what it feels like to be more aligned, right? A car wouldn't know what alignment is without it feeling unaligned. And so it's a really beautiful journey that we get to come home and know. So I'm so glad you shared that because that is so potent to really hear that like, yeah, that's why I don't really work. I say beginners very lightly, but I don't really work with women that like have not gone through some of that stuff because if you're hearing that for the first time and you haven't been on a healing self-help journey, all that stuff of of all that energy expenditure to those things, the things that I share would be like way too out there and way too probably, again, a deeper mind threatening.
Yeah, they would be repelled probably by you in the beginning anyway, because they're not ready for that. And that's okay.
Exactly.
But it's finding...
Yeah.
It's finding your way to start opening up to that, and then seeing what, once you're ready to just explore that, what kind of invitation it can really bring.
Yeah. And again, you didn't shift those things out questioning, do I still really like this? Is this really aligned with me? Kind of goes back to the manicure thing, right? If you're not asking those questions to self and getting quiet, if you're, it's so interesting. I'll hear women be like, I went to that astrologer. My friend told me this, that this other guy told me this bodywork person told me that. And I'm like, where are you telling me about you versus other people telling me what they interpreted about you? And again, there's so much out there inundation that it's like, just get quiet and ask, show me my alignment. Show me what is good for me and return good for the world, because that is what is good for the world, is what's good for you. And it gets to be really expansive, and it will activate some things, and it will, along the way, you will disappoint people because you're choosing yourself first. And but here, and this is not new news, but also maybe a little activating, you're going to die one day. So you're transition. You're going to, so do you want to be on your deathbed wishing you had done all the things? Or do you want to be on deathbed going, you know what? Yeah, I disappointed people here and there. And I got a little messy here and there, but you know what? I'm really grateful that I kept aligning to me and showing up for me first.
Yeah, because a lot of people who don't ever take those steps, I feel like they do end up with more regrets down the line. And speaking as someone who is a recovering people pleaser, I was waking up in my 40s going, who am I even living for?
And that's usually an awakening for people, is when they ask that question, who am I living for? And what I can tell you too is this people pleasing thing, which is very big in the work that I do with women, and we get to very subconscious spaces with that, and it's, again, unlocks incredible gifts. That people pleasing, there's a way of thinking, is actually the opposite of people pleasing, because what really it's doing, it's not pleasing the people, it's having you avoid from the threat and the fear of what you would do with disappointing somebody. So what we're actually doing is avoiding having to feel our own feelings around disappointing somebody. And so outwardly, you're like, let me go please somebody out of me so that I don't have to feel the disappointment within me. And so it's a very powerful statement that I don't think is talked a lot about either, is that we think it's like for others, but it's actually it's only avoiding us to feel and move through something that's bigger than us. And that people pleasing is just a stuckness of feeling good in the moment, but actually the more that you're people pleasing, the more that you are getting it. Again, your tires are going to be squeaking. The alignment's going to be off,
and keeping you out of your power.
Absolutely. Yeah, It's really a powerful thing. And so the more we can even shift, I even invite people to shift people pleasing, change the word of it. Because there's so much energy around that out there, like money blocks, people pleasing, like all these different words, narratives. You've had them way too much in your mind for all the years. Change the narrative of it, and that will already change your reality. So we could call it, self, that, I self unalign, whatever, we get quiet and see what word makes sense to you or what phrase, but change this people pleasing thing. Because again, that now had people pleasing has power over you, because you kept saying, oh, I'm a recovering people pleaser, I'm a people pleaser. You're repeating the story narrative. You're repeating that reality to continue to happen in your life. And I don't want that for you. I want you to break through that wall.
No, we gotta break through and move forward.
Yes.
By coming back to ourselves.
Don't repeat your past. Again, what's most therapy? It's like, tell me about your past. And I don't find it. And again, because I question, I don't find it useful to continue to, every new therapist, I'd be like, okay, let's start from, and I'm like, why am I, like, I could tell a friend about this. Like, I could just talk to a friend about my past. Am I leaving session feeling empowered and feeling like things are shifting in my reality? And the answer was no. Again, it was just a Band-Aid. And I'm not dissing therapy. We all get to find a time and place. And of course, it can be from one therapist to the next. I'm not bashing therapy at all. But now finding this is my therapy. The thing is how I do it now. And I say that because it's been useful for me. And I always say, again, check in. Is this useful for me? Is this serving me? You know, if you're going to therapy, I've been going every week for years now, the same person. My life still sucks. And I'm going, maybe we start questioning that a little bit. That's a place to be.
Absolutely. Like some people even, I see it on my therapy table. People think sometimes that just by coming to the appointment and me doing manual therapy on them, realigning them physically is actually going to get them better. And, you know, short answer, I'm helping. I'm there to accompany you on your journey. But if you think just by showing up and putting your body on the table that you're going to get better, the answer is no. It's all about, yes, opening yourself up to the opportunities. But once the invitation is there on the table of this is your alignment and this is what it feels to be aligned, what are you going to do with it? That's where it starts.
To keep the movement and the momentum going. And again, there is a lot of talk around, you know, Body Keeps the Score. I know it's a very popular book. It's like the body sends the mind sends the body. The work that I do, I believe that it starts in the mind to body. And so, for example, like you go get your body adjusted. If your mind's still, you know, and there's a thought that, you know, your mind's creating also the way that your body is showing up. And so, yeah, if you're just like, I just go put, you know, let me give an example. I think that'll be really useful. Even you had brought up like HIIT and all that stuff too. And again, I think every human is different. We're all unique. And so for some women, maybe those kinds of movements are, I mean, again, you get to play with what movement do I enjoy and do I like? And do I feel like my body's saying, yes, more, please? And that's going to be different for every woman. But imagine, and there are these women, people, I mean, probably those listening will be like, oh, I know someone that just like this person, you know, I'm describing. But it's like, you know, they're doing the hardcore stuff and the HIIT and the CrossFit and the, you know, but they're also like, I'm going to do the hot yoga and Pilates, and they're doing it all. And you know what they're also doing is that like once a week, they're also going to go get cupping and, you know, going to the chiropractor and going to get the acupuncture. And the other day, again, because I love just questioning things and looking at this human experience and going, are you getting the acupuncture cupping just to get back into alignment because the things that you're doing aren't in alignment? Like you could be maybe not even having to go get the cupping acupuncture if you just took out the HIIT CrossFit, you know, but again, we get in our mask and I'm like, I'm going to do this thing now. And this is the thing. But like, if we stop and look at the big picture, that like, what if that what you're doing is why you need to go do the thing? Or we would say, oh, the cupping is helping me. It's like, but why are you needing the cupping in the first place? What's actually going on?
Exactly.
I work backwards and get to the root. And so that's the difference with my work a lot as well, is that I want to get to the root of your thing and then pull it out. And so like what you were saying, if I can adjust your leg and you're feeling better, but the root of your mind is still, you know, there's self-doubt, limiting beliefs, whatever. And then that's how the body is showing it. It's going to keep coming back until you get to the root.
Exactly. You nailed it. Because I see that on my table. And that's when we have to go deeper where personally, like then I go into like treating more around the cranial bones and the brain and all that stuff. And there's energetic blocks on a physical level affecting mobility in the body. So it's all interconnected and there's just different ways that it's presenting itself. Absolutely. And everyone's going to have their different recipe of how to get there. But I think what we're saying for those who may be just going, okay, what are they getting at? It's everyone's formula for how they're going to come back to themselves is different. So you have to explore that. But it's also, if you think just coming to see Mariel for her dance or seeing me on a therapy table, that's only part of the work. Showing up is part of it, but showing up doesn't give you the gold star. It becomes the whole, you have to be ready to embark on that whole journey that we're inviting you into after.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, that's why it goes back to that question. How long does it take? It's like whenever you're going to open your, I mean, if you have certainty, you know, that this is going to transform my life. I mean, imagine going into that. I mean, I remember a friend called me out one time where I was like, I decided I was going to do a program and I was like, I don't know if it's going to, you know, if I'm going to find use for it. Just like, well, going into it like that, you won't, you know, it's kind of like what
That's
energy
right.
are you also bringing to like, this is going to be transformative. I'm going to have certainty that this is going to be a game changer in my life, I don't actually believe that it can't not transform you in some capacity with that mind. Again, it's all mindset. It's mindset. I mean, someone listening, I have full certainty that this, even listening to this right now, has completely shifted my reality. Declare it.
Yeah.
Because it absolutely, again, what we're discussing right now, like, shifts are already occurring. Activations are already happening, even in this conversation.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm saying this work is so much bigger than me. I'm not really here for, like, let's just talk and hope that you get a nugget and you put it into your life. Like, things are already shifting as you're listening to this. And that's what really lights me up with my work that I do, is that you don't have to work so hard. I have women that are like, what's my homework then after doing sessions with me? And I go, it's already been awakened in you. And now you get to go live your life and you'll see the benefits occurring simultaneously. Like, it's actually a very different way of, again, not like school systems, homework. It's happening. And yes, keep showing up to sessions with me. That is that's the work. Like, what you're saying is, like, you show up. But I love being able to really shift some stuff for you. And you get to kind of sit back, relax, and take it in and just notice and appreciate it and be like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like, it's the same. People ask me sometimes, like, okay, well, what exercises do I have to do after? Like, they're used to going to see a physiotherapist. It gives you a whole program of 20 exercises. I'm like, I just go, let the body work. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself cry if you have to. Let yourself just be in that moment of being in that alignment. And what does that invite and call in for you? And some people get it. Some people are still working on it, but we're here. I think we're both here, maybe with different ways of presenting, but on a similar mission of just inviting people to just come back to who they truly are.
Yeah, their alignment. Like, we're doing alignment and way. And again, that's what's so fun, is that we get to decide, like, do I want to go on the table and have my body actually adjusted to get more into my alignment? And again, knowing that there's going to be stuff and work to do there. Do I want to start subconscious reprogramming? Do I want to start the dance class? Do I want to start with just getting into my play and skipping with my daughter? I mean, there's all these invitations. There's all these possibilities. There's abundant possibilities. It's like, what's next? But actually showing up to doing that thing.
Yeah.
Right? So I know next time you're going to skip with your daughter. There's no question about it, right? It's like, and that's the action. And from there, you'd be like, okay, fine. Well, I'll just skip. But, like, how will that change anything? You have no idea what that will open up for you. No idea.
No idea, but I can't wait to find out. Mariel, where can people find you? Like, pimp yourself out. Tell us all about how we can find you.
Oh, did you ever watch the show Pimp My Ride back in the day? I just thought that.
I did. I totally did.
Again, perfect example, right? They're like, all the things added to it, whatever. We get to pimp our rides here.
That's it.
Yes, I love it. So I actually invite your listeners to, I say this, and I truly, I will be responding to them. I take the time. It's really, that's why I'm also on social media, literally to help you become free and transform. And I invite you to send me a voice note, an actual voice note. I think a lot of women don't, I'm like, no, I want to hear your voice, and a takeaway, or what showed up for you, what color showed up for you, what thing came to your mind, so we can intend it together. I will not be like selling you on anything or whatever. I literally will be there to celebrate you, because that also is a step. Think about it. It's an action step. Movement creates momentum. So even that, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to go voice note Mariel, that I listened and this thing happened. That's already going to create momentum in your life. So I invite you to do that. And you can find me at Mindfulness with Mariel, at Mariel. And voice note me there. Share with me about your experience today. And if you have any questions. But yeah, I offer one-on-one coach. I don't even say coaching. It's really guiding. It's guiding you back home to you. And that is through subconscious reprogramming and dance somatic embodiment. But I will say, again, I do it very personalized, where we work, again, mine's going to happen first, because then the dance, all the play gets to ooze into as you go. And so every woman is different about the combination of that. And I also have women that are just like, I just want the mind work. And I'm like, I'm all here for that. Like, that's where it all started for me. So it gets to be very, very personalized. If time is a thing for you, which again is also a subconscious thought of I don't have time, but I do have my program called Energy. And that is a plug and play on your own secret podcast, where you can, again, plug and play in your own time. And it gives you subconscious. It's like a mental massage. You literally just listen. It activates you. And then it goes into dance somatic embodiment too, where I give you, again, an incredible playlist that is at a subconscious level, shifting your shit. And through mine, and say embody. And that's a really fun exploratory journey that you can go on your own time. And I mean, if you're local, or if I'm traveling and I'm host AbunDANCE activation sessions are really, really fun. And that's a group of people, and we move through, again, mind and body. It's a big play date for women that celebrate each other. And so that's something that, again, like that's more the in-person. But those are really the things that I'm here to explore with women that are ready. And again, just to see and witness these women in their power, play, and presence, and stepping into who they really are. There's no better feeling. And again, final thing I want to say is that it wouldn't have been possible if I didn't show up for myself first in my alignment. And same thing with Lianne, what you're doing is incredible. And if you didn't show up for your alignment, you wouldn't be impacting the people. And so talk about selfless, selfish, whatever words you want to put to that. But I think it's the most incredible, like, if you want to call that selfless thing to do, is to get into your alignment.
Yeah. And what a blessing and honor, honestly, it is. I don't know about you, Mariel, but just to witness people make that shift in their lives, and not even because of I helped them get there. It's not even from the ego. It's just such a beautiful thing to witness, and a major honor to help these people get activated and get back to themselves.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. All of our journeys are different. It's not about and there's so much out there too about like, do it this way, and then you'll get this. And I'm like, I think it just takes away your power. Do it your way. And then have people there that, have been working on this alignment thing to help you, remind you, in how to get back to that. It's okay to, as women, it's okay to ask for help. I was so stubborn for so long, stubbornness about like, oh, I'm not going to, I'll figure it out on my own, but let's work smarter, not harder, and receive. Let's let ourselves receive that gas station moment,
Yes. Let's embrace community in order to move forward, because that's what we're actually meant to do. We're not supposed to go at it alone, but it must be that in, I don't know if it's society or what have you, but we do feel more and more conditioned to just take it all in and be on our own and try to take it all on our shoulders. And like you were saying, it's time we start releasing those thought patterns and get back to connecting in order to move forward and be our most vibrant selves.
Absolutely. And again, if you knew it was your time now, what action are you taking? What action are you taking for you, from you? And where are you letting the dentist give you the tools, and you're like, oh, I'll figure it out on my own, versus saying, let me just go to a dentist that knows what they're doing and saves me my time and energy and resources. And then I get to like be in my alignment. I get my teeth to be sparkly white quicker and more efficiently and effectively than just doing it on my own, looking in the mirror, trying to get back that, it's really invest in you is the best thing you can do.
Absolutely. Everyone, Mariel, Wilk, thank you so much for coming on the show. And we can't wait to see how things evolve from here for you. And also, I would love to hear from the audience who connects with Mariel and who's going to, go and dance their little butts off. So
yes, exactly. Mind and body. Let's go. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And we'll talk again soon, because I feel like we're going to have to keep chatting at some point.
We'll do a part 2.
Sounds good. All right. So thank you for being a part of today's episode of the Holistish podcast. Ready to take your wellness journey further? Visit Holistish, that's holistic with an SH at the end, .com, to access our latest resources and wellness tools designed to support your holistic health journey. For holistic health inspiration and a behind-the-scenes look at integrating traditional wisdom with modern wellness, join our growing community on Instagram at the.holistish. If today's episode resonated with you, subscribe so that you never miss out on our weekly episodes, and leave a quick review to help other wellness seekers find us. Until next time, stay curious, stay balanced, and keep exploring what works best for your unique body and mind. Your health journey matters, and I'll meet you right back here next week.